All right, so good evening, health coaches. This is Craig, and it's our weekly health coach huddle up. And tonight's call is going to be, or a meeting is going to be, a little bit interactive with all of you guys. We had just come off of an amazing leadership call. And for those of you that are joining here, that join at 5:30, there's another call with Dr. A and the leadership team, and they have different topics each week. And so we join that from 5 to 5:30 or 5:30-ish. I often wondered, what was the importance of me attending that? Why do I need to be on that call? And there was a lot of years where I wasn't actually on it. And now I've been listening to it regularly. And what's amazing is seeing other people succeed and seeing other people have breakthroughs. After a while, initially you kind of have to work through, I want what they want. And then something clicks in my mind saying, if I do what they did, I can have what they have. I can achieve what they've achieved. And really the sky's the limit. So we've got a bunch of stuff, some notes that I took, and I want to hear from you guys as well. But I want to welcome my co-host, Dawn and Kelly Carpenter. Are you guys out there today? Let me unmute you. There we go. Hello from Vancouver. How are you guys doing in Spokane?
Good.
You're doing good?
And beautiful over here. Yeah, we're doing awesome.
Good. Now, I did, as we're getting started with the call today, Kelly, you had some pretty exciting news. You texted me last night. Do you mind sharing your exciting news?
Oh, this gal, I was just talking back and forth, and finally, she's the one said, "Would you do Zoom? Do you do Zoom?" I said, "Yeah, I do Zoom." And so anyway, I ended up pulling out a health assessment, and I did a health assessment on her last night. And she said, "How do I start?" So it was awesome.
Wow, that's great. So for those of you that don't know the backstory on that, Dawn's been coaching for quite a few years, and Kelly's been watching. Actually, Kelly's the one that initially met me and found the program. And so now that they're both retired, Kelly's now honing his coaching skills. So that was a big win to have him bring on a client, and yeah, well done, Kelly. It's exciting. A lot of fun. So I'm curious, a couple things that I had. One of the interesting pieces, I'd love to hear from you guys that are watching the leadership call and some takeaways that you guys have. What's the whole point? Why do we do that? Because our company is very unique. And I'm always trying to say, why do I do this thing? Where does this fit? How can I correlate this to something else that I'm familiar with? And because technically each one of us is not an employee. Not one of us is an employee of Optavia. Have you thought about that? Like if you work for a big company and you go to the mandatory Monday meetings because you're all part of this company and you're a salesperson or whatever it is you do with the company. Well, not here. You guys are all independent Optavia coaches. You have you're your own business owner. And so how do you organize a bunch of companies that are made up of one, right? How do you get them all together to kind of row in the same direction so that we have success, right? And then you have this other company that we're all sort of related to or connected to that provides us with a lot of the tools that we use and the motivation and the inspiration and the structure and all that. And the more we can learn to follow that structure, the more successful we'll be. And so yeah, I just wasn't sure if you realized what the challenges are with this business model, how to get us all rowing in the right direction. And the one area we do that is by being part of that Zoom with Dr. A, watching the other leaders and what they talk about. That way it kind of gets you paying attention to the things that everyone's paying attention to. And then we have this meeting here to keep, because we're going to be taking those things and we're going to be specializing and running in a specific direction. And we all know each other, right? And so it'd be difficult to have all the coaches have a Zoom where everybody got to talk. And that's why we have this subset of the leadership call, which is just our team. And so I'm curious, for those of you that are joining in or, listening to the different stories, was there anything that someone said that I never, you said, I never thought about it like that, or maybe that's for me? Was there anything like that jumped out at you that was noteworthy? Go ahead and raise your hand, or you can raise your virtual Zoom hand. Who wants to jump in and go first? Yes, Trisha, go ahead. Do you know how to unmute yourself? You got this.
So I've been listening to it for the last couple of weeks, and the one thing that I noticed that almost everyone has said is just to be yourself, not to be over happy or try to sell it, just to be yourself and to be natural and to live out loud and share your own stories. And as a coach, that's the same thing I've done. And Carrie told me from the very beginning. And I just got a new client who will be starting the program tomorrow. And that I spent all day with her yesterday because it was her daughter's birthday. And that was the one thing she said was like, you never pushed me. I knew this program worked by seeing your posts and by seeing the progress that you've made. So that just really stood out to me, that everybody said that, because that was one of my concerns when I started coaching, was I am not a salesperson whatsoever. I don't do well at that. And Carrie and Dawn both said, if you have to sell it, you're not doing it right. So that's just always stuck with me.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Trisha. The term real speaks, right? Even if you don't say something, results speak for themselves, and you bring you, because what we don't bring, we have a great fueling plan, we've got a great mentoring plan, we've got a great coaching plan, and we got all these different things, but they're worthless without you. You're the relationship, because people don't get healthy outside a relationship. And so I love that, Trisha. Thank you for joining us. Thank you that you're not selling, quite frankly. Thank you that you're just delivering the gift, and the people that you're helping will be more and more appreciative because it's real. That's great. Christina, I will unmute you since you're driving, if I can. Sometimes it just doesn't let me. There you go. You're on.
There. So Dr. A said the word rep, R-E-P, and that was really, I like simple. I like things that are simple. And he said, rep is, resilience, effort, and persistence. And that, I think maybe I've been missing two of those things, maybe all of those things, or maybe I need a higher dose of all of those things. But that really stuck out to me because it's simple and it's easy to remember.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you, Christina. Who else? Melanie, you're next. Oh, you may not have listened to it, so you may not have anything to comment. Who all listened to it? Anybody else? Yeah, Lynn Ann, so you're up next. Here, I'll unmute you.
Oh.
There you go. You're on.
I unmuted myself. Well, to be honest, when Leslie was speaking, she was talking about that you can't do it all. And boy, I would love to be in that position where I'd have to hire somebody to clean my house and like cook for me and stuff. Wouldn't that be nice? But so that made me laugh, but also opened my eyes to the fact that crazy things could happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's actually happening to people that have a lot of kids. What do they have? 5 children? That's amazing to me. But I love every time I listen to Leslie. She's just so real about what's going on.
Yeah.
She doesn't sugarcoat anything. You know, sometimes it's going to get messy. And then when you have time, you clean it up. You know, everybody's busy. You're fitting things into the nooks and crannies. So if anybody thinks they're the only person that, oh, I'm dealing with all these things and I've got family issues or a parent in my case or little kids or whatever it is, everybody has something going on.
Yep.
Or you have a daytime job, right? There's a lot of moving parts and it can get messy.
Yeah, and
So I appreciate that.
Yeah, they said if your why is clear enough, you'll find a way. Do you know I've been having these calls, these meetings for 8 years, once a week. And Leslie Begin used to be right here. So did Sam and Harold Prestonbach. Right? They were part of the original crew that branched out, and and hopefully some of you guys will do that one day. You'll find your voice, you'll find your rhythm, and you'll just run. And I'll help you guys do your own Zooms. Right? I've done this with Alex, done this with Daniela, the Prestonbachs, now Leslie. And I remember Leslie used to open the call up for us. This particular call. Right? And so it's so fun to watch these people find their vision and find their goal. And yeah, I was thinking about this. She's hired people to do the cleaning and the cooking now, but she's hiring people to do things that others can do, so she can do things that only she can do. She relates to people in a unique way, just like Trisha just talked about. Trisha's going to bring her personality and her friendships and her relationships to it. And I like what they said, something about this gift is worth giving away. One of those last people just said, this is a gift. I'm not trying to get anybody. I'm trying to give a gift. And did you think that do you look at Charlene, right? Charlene and Lee. Think about that. Do you think this was a gift for them? He's taken the day off to go ride his motorcycle now. He used to work as a mechanic. He thought he had things were pretty good. I wonder how many people in our lives think things are pretty good because it's just all they know. And they've never really taken some time to think about what could be and why not. Who else wants to offer up some insight into that? Yeah, Jose. Let's see here. You're going to have to unmute. Oh, there you go. You're good.
Hi. Thanks, Greg. Hello, everybody. I got my daughter here. I kind of snatched her up, and she's from San Diego, and she's going to be here in a moment. And we just drove in from Miami, Florida, and that's 3 hours away. We just rode up here. I told her, get the computer on, plug in, let's get this thing going. We got a pretty good part of what was being spoken. Say hello to Sade.
Hello, Sade.
Hello.
Hi, Sade.
Welcome.
Hi.
Miss you already.
She's leaving tomorrow back to San Diego, and I was talking to Irving that anyway, this is what she wrote. Want to share it?
Sure.
Right here.
Well, I just noted something that somebody said from the earlier part, I guess, part one. I said, she says, live my health out loud. That's pretty cool. And then one way to not be so discouraged while trying to share such a beautiful gift with people is to look for those no's. And it just helps with that, because as you're looking for those no's and you get the yes, you're like, all right, let's go. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Pretty much all I said.
We got a guest and she's giving us some good feedback. Awesome. Well, you're fitting right in. You're welcome back. Even I think they have internet in San Diego. You could attend from there.
Definitely.
So nice to meet you. And actually, Jose, make sure you set up a meeting with us. I'd love to talk more and get to know you a little bit better. One of the things, if you think about is have you guys, for those of you that are coaching by yourselves, like for 8 years, my wife's been coaching kind of in the background, and she's been doing her thing, you know, and Terry said, until your wife may never join you. So let's say until she does or never does, your wife has dreams that Optavia can fulfill. Do you know what those are? I was like, what a great question. Because Optavia is going to provide a lifestyle for our family. It's going to provide a way for her husband to become a better husband, better person. It's going to provide a way for her husband to become healthier. It's going to provide income for us to do things that she cares about. And so Terry said, do you know what those are? And I said, well, I'll find out. Right. And so Anita and I started having conversations, and it turns out that she really likes who I've become as a health coach. She likes how Optavia has changed me. I'm a better husband because of it. That has nothing to do with the number on the scale, by the way. Have you ever thought about that? So I'm curious, as you guys are thinking about that, those of you that are coaching by yourselves, you know, or you're the primary person coaching, what if Optavia could be a vehicle to meet your spouse's dreams too? What would that look like? Would it mean a different house? Would it mean a car? Would it mean a deeper relationship? Would it mean more friends? Would it mean learning to say you're sorry, not taking things personally? I know I had to learn how to do that a lot with this, and it made me a better person. What if it was about being fulfilled because you felt like you were needed and like you could help people in the real battles of life, like where people really are battling? But if, you know, I don't know. I'm just curious. Any of you guys have any comments, or is that triggering anything in your own minds? Tamara, did you want to say something? No, you're good. Okay. How about you, Rita? What do you think about that? I don't even know much about you, if you're married or not, but do you have thoughts on that? Let's see here.
Well, I am married.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And he would probably really appreciate a Corvette.
There you go.
Point. That was what he wanted when he turned 50. So we've got. Now he wants a Lincoln Continental. Sorry.
Okay. Things change, right?
For a Corvette. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure he would really appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, what if you, being a successful health coach, would be able to provide that? I mean,
you know what would help that situation? If he actually helped with coaching. Well,
but see, the thing is that if this is a vehicle to get the vehicle that he wants, he could show interest. That there may be something here for him. That's just the whole point. Here's another thing. Thank you, Rita, for humoring me there. One of the coaches on our team, her name's Betsy. She said, I want to build into something that my husband is interested. They were both interested in health, and they both went to a job. She's a jeweler and he's an accountant. So they left in the morning to go to their jobs for 8 hours a day, and then they came back together. And she said, what if I never had to leave him because I really like him? And what if we could build something where we stayed together and we went and build things together, right? And so what about them apples? What if you really like to be with your spouse and you could build? Optavia is something you can build together. It's very, very compatible with that. It's actually the people that I see that are very successful with coaching have their spouses involved in some way. And with Lee and Charlene, Lee's doing some of the back end stuff. Same thing with my wife. She's doing the newsletters. And then I'm doing the front end stuff where I'm interfacing with the people. And so I know we're getting stronger because of that. So you might just kind of think about that. What are your spouse's dreams for what Optavia will provide your family? And it's far more than weight loss, but it does include a healthier body. no question. You know, what do you think, Melanie? Got any thoughts on that one?
Yeah. I want to get my husband a treehouse.
A treehouse.
He's always wanted a treehouse and have acreage with the treehouse. And I was like, if I could somehow surprise and be like, we can do the treehouse, we can build it. Because he's an artist, so if he could have his art studio and have his little getaway place, that would be pretty fantastic. So, yeah, that would be my dream for that. And I really liked the last gal on that. I didn't watch the whole thing. I was on another call, but the last part of it, I liked the last girl because I don't remember her name that spoke on Dr. A's call, but because she was kind of, you could tell that she was pessimistic in the beginning. Like she didn't have the buy-in. She didn't have that. And I think that's more convincing than having somebody that's just gangbusters from the get-go about it. I've seen a lot of people on here that are just like, yes, and it like spoke to me and it was just the most amazing thing. And that's great. But if you're somebody that struggled for a long time, whether it's 10 pounds or 100 pounds, I need people that have are like, I'm not buying it. And, then when it is successful, that's way more convincing for me. She just seemed more down to earth. So I really liked that.
Yep.
And I got my first person today. I'm coaching my
first client. Oh,
yeah. Super excited.
That's
Yay.
a big deal. Good job.
I didn't think it would happen, but Carrie helped. So I just wanted to share.
Sure. Yeah. Well, people are there and it's just a matter of not only finding them, but knowing when you find them, because people are all over the place wanting something more in their life: health, wealth, or relationships. One of those three things that we can help change and help become more healthy. So
yeah,
thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So here's another one. Someone said, what does freedom look like to you? You know, Charlene said that. What does freedom look like to you? Because she says we have freedom. She by the way, Charlene and Lee reached a rank of integrated global. So integrated global means you have 5 executive directors, and those executive directors have a minimum of 17 clients and 5 senior coaches. That's what getting to integrated global looks like. Does anybody does anybody know how many people roughly that is getting healthy? How many lives are being changed? You think about that? Yeah. So about 200? Is that what you said? 100 people? Yeah, because you got about 17 to 20 yourself, and then you got 5 coaches, and each of those people have a minimum of 5. So your minimum of 100 people, it's probably more than that. So I don't know if you think about it, right? But having the effect on 100 people's lives getting better. Pretty cool, right? That's minimum. It's probably more like 300 to 500. And does anybody know so that's the heart currency, that you're making a lot of changes, you're learning to build a team. Does anybody know the financial, what that looks like financially per month? Anybody want to take a guess? Nobody. So it's $59,000 per month. That's the average integrated global would make. And so Optavia compensates us well for doing good things, helping people lose 10 pounds, helping people sleep better, helping people fit into their jeans, helping people be able to play with their grandkids, stuff like that. Cool stuff. Helping people to believe in themselves and have hope again. I hope that resonates with you, because money does afford, Camaros or Lincoln Continentals and Corvettes and things like that. No question. Treehouses have to be paid for, right? But it's the lives, it's the heart currency, and then the U.S. currency. Both of them are like, they go really good together. It's like a nice complement. So excellent. And then I loved what they said. who you get to become is the greatest gift Optavia gives us. Who I become in the process is the greatest gift Optavia can give. Who you are going to become. Terry Miller from Stage said, if you don't quit coaching, it will work out our bugaboos. That's just little things that are in our life that maybe were holding us back. She goes, if you stay in long enough, you'll work out your bugaboos. You just have to kind of, if you have, someone says, well, somebody pushes my buttons all the time. And they said, well, what if you removed your buttons? Right? I mean, crazy concept. If I don't have any buttons, nobody can push them. And so, anyway, a couple little ideas there. Don Weber, I know you had some fun things happening this weekend. And would you like to share what's happening with you? Let me unmute you. There you go.
Well, I got my first 2 clients.
First 2 clients, yep.
That I'm coaching. I've got 2 more people who are very interested that will probably be signing up in the next couple of days.
Great.
I reached my goal weight. So I'm going to be transitioning into...
You look fabulous, by the way.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm not just saying that, right? You really do. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm hearing it every Sunday at church. Everybody's coming up to me going, "Oh, wow, you look really good. Have you lost weight?"
Yep.
So, yes, I'm barely getting in and out of my church. My head is so big.
You can get in fine. It's just leaving.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, those are very exciting things for me. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, really good stuff. Well, and I know that you're working closely with your coach as you can tell when someone's engaged because they like, hey, what about this? Hey, what about that? And you're doing that a lot. And it shows that you're engaged and you're doing it. And so congratulations, Dawn. It's so exciting to see you becoming this person that's going to help so many people. Yep. Awesome. Okay. So we are getting, wow, it's 6:09. Holy macaroni. Look how the time flies. So one thing I wanted to talk about today, we have an event that's we've heard about. I posted it on the Optimal Health Coach page. By the way, for all of you guys, if you're not, I know I'm almost certain all of you are in the Optimal Health Coach page, but I just want to share it with you so that you guys know about our Facebook group. And so turn on your notifications here to be notified when people post stuff into this group. And you can go under here just where it says notifications and click on all posts. And that way you're going to be notified every time there's something in here, right? And then this is the one that I want to specifically talk about here. This is Growing Global Saturdays. It's going to be hosted by Doug Wood and a bunch of the top leaders. And it's going to be called The System. And so it's really going to help us to make sure that we don't we use the wheel that Optavia created. That's the system. And when you do those client celebration calls at the end of their first week, that's part of the system. And it's there very, very specifically. It's actually more important than drinking 80 ounces of water. We think of, 80 ounces of water. We think of 5 in 1. We think of, stay away from bread. We think about all these really technical things. There's these other things that are about the relationship, right? Putting them in the Facebook group, introducing them to the team, to everyone, coming in and all of you guys saying, welcome to the team. Tell me about yourself. What are your goals? And engaging those people. That is part of the system. Actually, that's far more important than any fueling could ever be in someone's life. And then when they get to that week 1 and you get on the phone call, if you're not doing the week 1 celebration call with your coach, then talk to your coach about that. Write that down right now and say, ooh, what's that? Because that's something you need to do. Why? Actually, does anybody, I'm curious, Does anybody know why we do that week 1 celebration call? Anybody want to raise their hand and jump in on there? Tamara, are you going to give us a credit card?
Hey, Craig.
Yeah, Christina.
I was gonna say, I feel like when we do the 1 week celebration call, I mean, who doesn't like a little pat on the back saying, "Wow, you made it! You made it! Congratulations! Let's make this. Let's put some more gas in this tank."
Mm-hmm. Exactly it. Yep. And Christina does a lot of the client celebration calls for my new clients. And so we do a team thing on that. And so she helps me out with those. But do you remember back to your first week when you were flying high, right? Wasn't it like magic? Right?
It
like
was magic. It was like somebody threw fairy dust on my life.
Yeah, it seemed like magic. Unfortunately, it's not magic at all. It was very duplicatable and reducible. But for them, it was so powerful. They're down 5 pounds, maybe 7 pounds. I don't know, whatever it is. And they start to feel good. They're in fat burn. What? They feel like they got supercharged. And then you get on there with another coach. So it's client, you as the coach, and then another coach. And that other coach shows an interest and validates them and encourages them. It's so important. Dr. A said the number one thing that we need as people is to be validated. To have somebody, he said, when my daughter used to ask me to go watch a little cartoon with her, and a cartoon I've seen 50 times. And he said, I would go watch it with her. Why? Because I wanted to validate her that something that was important to her was important to me. Right? How powerful is that? What would it look like for you to go watch a movie with somebody that you may not cared about, but you sure cared about them? That's what that does. It validates them. You get to layer the what we call being integrated, the coach, the habits of health system, the community, all that stuff. And then we get to celebrate their wins and have them reinforce those things. So that's just one little glimpse of the system and why we do those things. And if you leave them out, they won't have those. So this is the group 60 minutes of training. It starts at 7 a.m. and it's going to go for 12 weeks. And then it's basically, they'll be recorded, but if you can be there live, it's always best. But there's a couple things here. This is second quarter is going to be awesome, massive growth. And it's going to really help you to get into the, it's not a boot camp. It's a systematical training that you can depend on each week to teach you the system, right? Open to all coaches. So I want you guys to mark that on your calendar. It starts this Saturday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 7, 8, 9. That is 10 o'clock for you, Bessie, over there on the East Coast. And you, Lynn and Jose, you as well. So any questions about that? And we're going to wrap her up tonight. Oh, Lynn-Ann's got her hand up. Go for it.
I have my real hand and my virtual hand.
I know you had both of them.
Oh my gosh. I've only done one celebration call with my trusty coach, Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking forward to doing many, many more.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of connecting the two ideas between the celebration call and getting on the training on Saturday for the systematical, is that a word? I think I can say that up. Systems training, whatever. All those pieces, I know Optavia uses the word integrated all the time, really integrated into the community and the validation you're talking about. But it also, deep in the core of all of us, we have that need and desire to have the sense of belonging and the power of association and who we are as a group, as a community, and that strengthens all of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's why we do this. That's why we do this. So I hope to see you guys there on Saturday. I highly recommend, if you can move your schedule to make that happen, work hard to do that. It's always best to watch things live rather than making time to come back. That's always harder for me to do. For years, I said I would listen to the leadership call Tuesday morning, and I did maybe 5 times a year, not weekly, but I haven't missed one since we moved this to Mondays, and it's been good for me to see faces. Plus, it's been really fun to see people that are on our team succeeding and helping a lot of people winning. Now they're the trainers. I'm learning from them now. How great is that? So. Awesome. Well, I hope you find some value here. As always, welcome, Jose. It's Sade. Is that your daughter's name? Yes. So thank you for coming. Yes, you were an upgrade. Thank you for upgrading our call. We appreciated you, and thank the rest of you guys for being here tonight. Wait a minute. You want to say something? Oh, she's blowing kisses to us and everything. You definitely invited back. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, you guys, if you guys have any questions about the training or about what a celebration call is or any of those kind of things, if you don't ask somebody, how will you know? And if you don't know, you can't do it. And if you don't do it, people won't get the gift. They won't get all of it. And so we want to be as good gift givers, right? All right, you guys. Blessings to all of you. Thank you for all the work you guys do, and thanks for showing up here tonight. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.